Okay, so really quickly I wanted to give you a rundown on fabrics. One of the things that we really pride ourselves on here in our company is our choice of fabric. And this goes for the men's store as well as the women's store. But principally the women's store, we care about the fabric. We know fabrics, we want them to be durable, have a nice hand or feel to them, and then fit and drape nicely in the garment that we create. Now, right now, the easiest way to describe fabrics to you or to get you going on fabrics is that there are kind of basically two kinds of fabrics. There are knit fabrics and there are woven fabrics. Woven fabrics are woven on a loom with a warp and a weft, like woven. Think of like a big loom. Knit fabrics are like, imagine knitting needles. They're knit on big knitting machines. And nowadays with technology, most fabric is woven or knit in an industrial capacity, and that's why we have the finer hand to fabrics. Something even like, you may hear the word microfiber. Microfiber is a woven fabric where they have taken polyester, made it into a tiny, tiny little micron width filament, and then they weave it into a woven fabric. So even microfiber fabric, it's like this tiny little woven fabric that is super fantastic, and was unable to be produced before they had the technology to do so. Now, some of the benefits of a knit fabric are that a knit fabric fits more body types. You can squeeze almost anybody into a knit as long as the knit gives enough to cover the body, which is one of the benefits of a knit fabric. And I think with the possibility of more people being able to wear the clothes, you'll see a lot more knit fabrics out there. Now, knit fabrics are very comfortable to wear. They can be very durable if they're made with longer staple fibers. In other words, fibers that have a longer piece to them. Fibers like rayon and cotton usually have a little bit shorter staple, and so that's why you'll see knit fabrics made of those fabrics pill up a little bit more because of the way the yarns are made before they're knit. But knits, some of the benefits are knit, or not just the fit. They can also be really cool and comfortable if it's a really lightweight knit, and they're very forgiving. They also usually grow with you, so it's harder to grow out of your fabric or out of your clothes if you're in a knit versus a woven. Now, a woven fabric, one of the benefits of a woven fabric is usually if it's a lightweight woven fabric, you're going to be a little bit cooler than you would be in a knit. Lightweight woven fabrics allow they don't cling to you quite as much as a knit, and so you have more breathability there. They also hide the lumps and bumps of just being a woman. The truth is, women's figures can be very difficult to fit because our figure shapes are all over the place, all over the map. So, we have curves and lumps and bumps and cellulite and, yada, yada, yada. A woven fabric is going to drape over that completely, a lot nicer than a knit that's going to show everything. So that's one of the benefits to a woven fabric. In my wardrobe, I happen to have a really good mix between knits and wovens for that very reason, because some pieces fit me better in a knit, some fit me better in a woven. So I wanted to show you some of the fabrics in specific that we carry here. Now, before we move on to these fabrics, let me tell you a little bit about fibers. The fibers that make up the fabric also have a lot to do with how comfortable it is to wear and how durable it is. Now, you may have a fabric that's a woven that's made out of cotton, for example, which is a really nice, lightweight fabric. However, cotton as a fiber usually has to be ironed. So even if it's in a knit, cotton is going to show wrinkles more just because of the nature of the fiber. Polyester is a synthetic fiber that we really like to see a lot in knits and also in wovens, and it can be made very, very lightweight, lighter weight than cotton, actually. Microfiber is a polyester, for example. And those lighter weight fabrics are very durable. They're much more durable than the natural fibers like cotton and silk and stuff like that. But they're also a little bit warmer, typically. So if you have it in a really lightweight construction, like a lightweight chiffon, for example, that drapes through, that's a woven that is going to be super lightweight and not be too hot. Whereas the same kind of garment in a cotton might absorb more moisture and be a little warmer to wear. So anyway, really quickly, I'm going to show you about some of the fabrics that we have here. This is by no means comprehensive. We could always go on and on and on and on, because every new style and every new season brings with it its new fibers. Like a couple of years ago, we started seeing things made of bamboo, for example, as a fiber. That was unheard of before, but now there's a lot more things made of natural fibers that way. Okay, really quickly, let me show you some of the wovens that we have in our store. Some of the woven fabrics we have in our store that are fantastic are a blend. I really like a blend because I think a blend makes it easier to wear. Then you get the best of both worlds, the synthetic and the natural fiber. This particular blouse that we carry is a really nice woven broadcloth. We call this broadcloth, and it's a cotton polyester blend. There's no spandex in this, so it's not stretchy, but it's very cool and very comfortable in this blouse. This is 100% polyester fabric that we have here. They're calling this batiste. Usually batiste is made out of cotton, which it kind of bugs me that they call this batiste, but it has to do with the weave of the fabric. You can kind of see the variation here in the tone of the threads that they used in here. But this polyester batiste is a really nice fabric and a very durable fabric in a blouse. We actually sell a lot of this blouse more to older sisters, but it's a very flattering style on. This is a fabric that's called crepe. Oh, sorry, wrong one. This is the crepe right here. This is crepe. Crepe kind of has a little bit of a texture to it that looks kind of like a cooked crepe. I think that's where the name comes from, actually. This one is actually polyester, so it's a woven, but crepe has a little bit nicer drape to it because it's a little bit of a finer weave. But this happens to be a polyester crepe. I like the feel of crepe because it's a little silkier than some of the other wovens, but crepe can sometimes snag, so it's more suitable, in my opinion, in a blouse than in a skirt, but it was the only example I had in here. And then finally, one of our favorite woven fabrics is found in our 507, which I'll be talking about here in a minute. This fabric is called Tropical. And basically it's called Tropical because it's a tropical weight suiting fabric meant to mimic and look like poly wool. This particular blend here is a woven that is made of polyester, rayon, and spandex. You have the spandex for the ease to make it feel more like a knit, so it kind of hugs your figure a little bit better and has a better hand to it. You have the rayon in here to give it softness and breathability, and the polyester to make it durable. And we've seen these skirts come back from a mission looking almost as new as the day they bought them. And I have girls that have worked for me for years and still are wearing the skirts that they took on their missions. This has been a fantastic skirt for us. We started manufacturing this one in 2006 and have not stopped. It's been a great skirt for us. We're coming up on almost 10 years of this skirt. So anyway, it's a fantastic skirt. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now on to some knits. Some of the knits that we have in our store right now. One of them is found in kind of a layering tee construction. This is a rayon spandex, polyester rayon spandex as well, but instead of rayon, it's a version of rayon called viscose, so it's a little bit silkier. And it's in a knit, not a woven. And so this does have all the properties of a knit. It can fit more people. It's a little bit more body conscious. Some people really prefer that, especially because this is a layering tee. That's kind of par for the course, body conscious, because you usually bring it under something else. One of the drawbacks of knits is that they can be a little bit warmer in hot, humid climates. It really kind of depends on your body chemistry and how much heat you can withstand, but a knit that clings to your body a little bit more usually is a little bit warmer. But this is a really, really pretty version of this knit. The dress I'm wearing is also the same fabric content of this knit, that poly viscose spandex. Another one of our favorite fabrics, and this fabric was kind of pioneered in the fashion industry by the dancewear companies, and Chico's was a retailer that kind of started bringing it to the forefront a few years ago because it was such a great travel fabric and it's so forgiving. This is called ITY, or polyester. It's a polyester spandex, but the knit of this is just genius because it's durable. It washes and wears very well. It's wrinkle-free, and it's actually fairly forgiving. I prefer to see people in this dress in a print, however, because as a knit, it is so like drapey, this liquid, beautiful, silky construction here that if it's in a solid, it is going to kind of show more lumps and bumps and not be quite as flattering as in a print that camouflages that. But it's a fantastic fabric. We do skirts out of this. We have done blouses out of this. We've even done kind of a swing cardigan thing when that was in style. It's not really current fashion, so we aren't doing that right now. But the most popular construction in this particular fabric is in our dresses because there's just no substitute for a very comfortable, lightweight dress in our store. Anyway, that's ITY. Finally, one of the most popular that we have seen, and it's kind of hard to tell because this is a print. It's called Ponte di Roma, or Ponte. It's a knit, but it's a little bit heavier duty knit. Originally, Ponte was manufactured in wool. Wool Ponte now is very hard to find because it's expensive. You can find it in a little bit higher quality construction of clothing. But Ponte di Roma is a really fantastic way to wear a knit but have a little bit more structure as if you're wearing a woven, because it's a little thicker. It's not quite so thin. It does make it a little bit warmer. This is a great fabric for winter, for cold climates, and for fall and transitional weather. I probably wouldn't take much in Ponte if I was going somewhere hot and steamy and tropical, because it is a little bit heavier duty fabric. You'll see a lot of our stuff that we do in ITY, we can also do in Ponte for cold weather, like some of our dresses. And right along with Ponte, there's a new fabric that was recently introduced into the fashion industry, I guess you could call it. And that is a fabric they're calling Liverpool. I don't know who it is that gets paid to make up the names. But anyway, it's called Liverpool. They did have something similar to this that was a woven that had like kind of this slubby, nubby texture. I don't know if you can zoom in and see this while we're doing that. Sorry. Zoom in again. But back in the 60s, you saw a lot of suiting and things made out of this fabric. Like Jackie Kennedy wore a ton of suiting made in fabrics like this, but hers was a woven version of what was called a piqué. So even a piqué knit, piqué meaning like poked or stung. It's from French, meaning like you would like a bumblebee sting, bee stings. Piqué. It looks like it has this little kind of like this texture, this kind of popcorny texture, as if it had been like stung by a bumblebee. This particular version of a piqué is a knit, and it, like I said, it's called Liverpool. But this piqué knit is kind of fun because it acts like a woven, but it is a knit, similar to Ponte di Roma, but because of the texture of it, it camouflages even better any of your figure flaws you're trying to hide. So we do this in skirts